All right, guys, what's going on? Canon R3. I'm a Nikon guy, but you know what? I have to respect where respect is due. Right there, we're looking at the Canon R3. You got a good setup here at WPPI. You got to check it out. But look at that body.
Hi everyone, Drew McCallum here, Technical Advisor at Canon USA. We're here at WPPI 2021, here at the Canon booth and showing off everything we have to show to the wedding and portrait photographers. On display here we have everything from a pre-production version of the EOS R3 that is in development, so people get to see that under glass. We've got several of our EOLs speaking and presenting to crowds all over the place here in town. We're doing photo walks. We've got lenses on display. This is the first time some of you out there are getting to see the R5 and R6 and a lot of the new lenses in hand and get the touch and try. Thanks for coming by.
It's Canon booth at WPPI. We got quite a few exhibits here. Oh, look, it's Vanessa Joy. It's Vanessa Joy, guys. Rock and roll. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Vanessa? Rock and roll. I wanted to ask you who your favorite rock band is.
My dad.
Oh yeah, he plays man.
Yeah, he used to be the lead singer of Ram Jam, so I gotta go with that.
Oh, that's awesome. I watch your stuff.
Oh, thanks. I hope you like it.
Rock and roll. Oh, look at those colors, guys. Look at those colors. You got a camera for everything. Cinema, photography, webcamming. So that's the C70.
Yeah, this one right here.
Is that new?
It's fairly new, yes.
The C70. True cinema camera.
Because
Ryan Troy, you're right. Nikon needs a cinema line.
with the bigger screen.
But this feels really good in the hand. This feels awesome in the hand. This feels great in the hand. Amazing in the hand. You know how much I love cameras that feel great in the hand? Well, this feels good. This is a true cinema camera. C70.
That was a question I got.
You could pick one up for under $6 grand. I love the handle here.
If I want something similar to that. I have light company, but
Yeah.
I have to learn more about lighting.
Yeah. Well, it's just a matter of just doing it, and it's an experience. But you want to have a good, actual, dedicated video camera. The still camera is great, but again, it's really not made for video. It does great video. Like what he's doing, it looks great. But when you start doing those things where there's intense, hair or something, green screening, that's when you're going to want something that's going to have that real nice processing power. 4K intraframe. Then you've got long GOP, then you've got smaller size 4K intraframe. So long GOP means it's not recording every single frame every second. It's kind of interpolating certain frames to prioritize storage size. So like you said, if you just have a quick clip, but you still want the resolution of 4K, if you want the highest level, like you're doing your big music video or something like that, you're going to want intraframes, because that's going to record every single frame. But you can also come into here and go down on the quality, and you go to 420 8-bit. So that's less color reproduction, less variant. So instead of brown, it's shades of brown, So it's just less data.
Who's the photographer here? I see you do this picture. It's all right, don't worry about it.
I don't know who the photographer is.
All right. Look at this Canon light setup.
You're enjoying this so much. That is the best day ever. There you go. Oh, perfect.
All right, that's the best one right there. Damn, this is sick lighting. Strike a pose.
Stages on at ABC, so that's Sports Illustrated. Check. ABC. Okay, and Canon Sport of Light. Check. Okay. Just to rent the equipment was over $25,000. Just to rent it, not the cost of the equipment. So when they send me the invoice, I literally spit my coffee out. I was just like, oh my God, like this is, I couldn't. I just had to look at it like 10 times to make sure the comma was moved right.
Try lowering it.
So it's not that symmetry is wrong. You use it for a reason. Like it's meant to be a confrontational pose, but this isn't. Like, this is meant to flow. So what is I'd rather look here.
C300 Mark III.
Yes.
Largest.
And this one again?
500 Mark II.
Oh.
Good.
Woo, 500 Mark II.
Ready. Relax those fingers at the second.
Yeah, guys,
Right there.
C500 Mark II. That's amazing. What's that priced at?
This one's 16,000. This
Oh.
one's 12,000, and this one's 5,500.
16, 12, 55.
5,500, yeah.
I can't drive. 55. I like Sammy Hagar. And what's this thing?
This is a remote control for our PTZ cameras, which if you actually look over here, all the way over to here, and you can control it via software. Like here, watch this. If you click this one button right here, watch this, you can go to different presets.
Oh, wow.
So you set where you want to go.
No, that's awesome.
So you can pick whatever point you want. You can do like, a lot of points.
That's great. Camera right up top.
Yeah, there's one right up there, and then we've got one right here too.
They look like stage lights.
Yeah, it's a remote control capability. You can do it all through the Ethernet.
What are these priced at? One of these units?
This one's 2,700.
4K.
Yep.
So you could stream out of these. You can digitally remote control them. Wow, look at that quality you're getting. That's sick. And this is a controller?
So this is a remote control, and you can plug in a whole bunch of different of our PTZs. So if you have like 10 of them, you can do different presets. That's like a joystick for actually maneuvering it. The zoom, so you can zoom in with them, all from this controller. You can do different white balances, different colors. Totally good for concerts, any place where you don't want to put like an actual operator, one person can do this. So a lot of people who do streaming for like churches, or house of worship or something like that.
Wait, it zooms and does it pan?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can pan left and right on it. You can go straight down.
Look at it at this monitor right here, guys. Look how smooth it is. Look how smooth. That looks great. And it's pretty good in low light. It looks good, no noise at all. The color, look at that red. Now, what is this software?
So this is the Canon software. It comes for free. You can control all many different cameras in it. You can set different points, like I was showing you.
That's awesome.
Different presets. So check this out. Let's say I want to go. Everyone's looking at the computer over there. We set this earlier. Watch You can set where you want it to go. And it's got autofocus, so that's now over to there. And then this is our home one. This will go. Look, it'll just go wide.
Wow, look how
So you can
fast
see
they did
different
that.
points.
It's just smoother on the screen.
Oh yeah. Got that great autofocus. I don't know if you saw it, it snapped like that. And then once you get here, if you need to adjust, I can zoom out a little bit. You can control the speed. I can have it be very fast or very slow. So you can do, look at all, you can do up to 100 presets.
If anything, this is the ultimate security house security camera. No, I'm kidding.
Well, we took the security camera technology and put our really high quality video, so it's got a really nice image processor in there. So that's why the quality. Now we can use it for actual productions, not just security.
What kind of lens is that on there?
It's a Canon L series lens in there, just like what we have going on in our DSLR and mirrorless. It's all internal inside of the body. And what's cool is you can mount it right to a traditional tripod as well if you want to. So you could have all, 5 of these set up and have one person controlling all the different cameras.
All you need to do is add a couple of lasers on it, and you can do 2 for 1. You have light show and camera show. Yep. All right, thank you, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
You have to get it dedicated.
About to shoot some samples with this lovely model, wedding.
Say that again?
So they set up the Profoto flashes.
Not really.
And we'll do some sample images right now. We'll plug in that trigger.
2 of them.
What trigger is that? Profoto trigger.
Hi, my name's Cliff Hausner. I'm with Profoto. We're here at WPPI, first get-together since COVID started, which is pretty amazing. And we're shooting kind of a little bit of an unusual shoot. I wanted to make something more creative, so we're shooting with the Profoto B10. That's a B10 Plus with a 3-foot OCF 3-foot octa on it. And below it is a 1x4 strip light. What it does is allow me to balance the 2 lights between each other, so I get a lot of fill light underneath, as well as get a lot of fill light on the top. We're also using fabric. As you can see here, we're using a fabric on top of the model so that we have this beautiful look, and it's gonna pick up whatever color is lighting behind it. So behind it, we have an A10 flash, and the A10 flash has a colored gel in it. Now the gels that we have are interchangeable. I can pop them in or pop them out. So with different colors, and what that's going to do is it's going to change the color of the shot completely. Or it's going to backlight the model beautifully. Fast recycling time, very, very easy to use. You should be able to get the shot that you want in 3 shots. The first one you shoot TTL, then it stays at that power, and you can adjust each light individually. And by the second or third shot, you should have the lights worked out in exactly the way you want it. It depends. You're in the $1,800 category for the B10s, and then there's the B10 Plus, which is more expensive. I don't know the exact price. I apologize.
It's not.
So this is the B10 Plus, which has 500 watt seconds. The B10 is 250 watt seconds. Please show everybody your images because they're amazing. All right? I love it. Thank you. Pleasure.
My name is Brent McAllister. I'm with KEH Camera. We're the world's largest reseller of used camera equipment. And I just want to give you guys some hints on selling your camera gear. So when we're looking at equipment, once we decide that everything's fully functional inside, it's all about aesthetics. So it's a matter of making sure the camera is in good shape as possible, the best condition as possible. I would highly recommend making sure that you clean it up, make sure clean off all the dust, just so it looks as nice as possible. It's like selling a used car in a lot of ways. If you drive something in and it looks like it's kind of beat up and dirty, they're not going to give you as much. So we'd like to make sure everything is nice and clean so we can get a good idea as far as what type of condition it is, so we can assign the most appropriate value. And basically, the cleaner the camera is, the higher the grade we can give it, the more value we can offer you. About 90% of the lenses I get, they tend to have a fingerprint on the rear lens mount or the rear element. So make sure that that's clean, because quite honestly, that'll affect your quality of photography. If you have a fingerprint on there, it's going to give you a soft image. So just make sure everything's nice and clean and keep it in as good a shape as possible.
You ever get photographers say, "What? That's it? That's all you give me?"
Well, I mean, we fail to realize that cameras are a lot like cars, and they actually change more often than cars do. So everybody's familiar with, you drive the car off the showroom floor, it's going to drop in value. That's why we recommend, or I recommend, buying used, because you can save money. If you go through KEH, you can spend or save 20 to 30% off of the new price, depending on the type of grading that you get, and you just get an incredibly good piece of equipment.
So what brand holds its value more, Nikon or Canon?
It's about the same. It's about the same. They all lose value the same. And we see it all the time. Every time a new model comes out, we drop the price of what we pay for something in that line. So basically, the best to be able to get the most value for your equipment is once you hear a rumor of something new coming out, that's when you want to sell it, because as soon as that new camera comes out, you're going to have the market flooded with them, and our price is going to drop because we get overwhelmed with them.
What tip you want to give that seller or that buyer
was looking to buy or sell on Craigslist versus go through you guys?
So that's a great question. If you've ever sold anything on like eBay or Craigslist, you know that your time's a lot more valuable than anything else. So it's a matter of how many questions do you want to ask. What we figured out is basically by the time you go through that process, you're going to come out much better just selling it to us because you don't have to meet somebody. We'll pay for free shipping into KEH. We can actually do an online interview with you and basically look at your equipment and evaluate your equipment so you know what type of money you're going to get before we receive it. So it's just more security than anything else. I used to sell a lot on eBay, but the fees have just gotten ridiculous. It's just not worth it.
All right, guys, rock and roll.
See you later.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt from White House Custom Color. We are a full-service printing company based out of Minnesota, and we're going to talk a little bit about albums here today. So I've got a big table full of stuff, but I tried to narrow it down just a little bit so you could have a little preview into some of the options that we have. So albums are one of my favorite products. I use them for my clients all the time. This one that I have in my hand is actually an 8x12. It's a combo cover, so that means it's got an image and then it's also got a material that could be either leather or faux leather or linen or silk, whatever you choose to wrap around the rest of the album. This has Fuji deep matte paper for the printing surface, and it has white thick inserts. This is actually a cameo cover, so this just has a little cameo cut off, and this is actually one of our premium leathers. Now you'll notice in comparison to this album I was holding up, you'll see the rounded corners. So if you're gonna do a premium leather, you're automatically going to get rounded corners for your cover, and then we actually do have rounded corners on our inserts or on our pages as well. Here is a full leather cover. Now this is going to be one of our distressed leathers, and it does have the blind debossing on there, and this is printed on Fuji deep matte as well. And for those of you that haven't touched deep matte before, it feels very much like silk. It's a beautiful paper. I just want to show you one of my favorite albums. This is from a friend of White House named Craig Stidham. Wonderful photographer, 11 by 14, but the 11 by 14 size, especially if you're in fashion or you're doing a large wedding book, it's a phenomenal size for that. It really has a nice presence to it. You can also do 11 by 14 in the lay flat book, which basically that means that instead of having an insert in the page, you're just going to have the depth of the two pieces of paper glued together. So it really does feel like a modeling portfolio. But again, the 11 by 14 is a wonderful size. You can do it in vertical or horizontal format. Either way, it's great. In lab, it's going to be roughly 2 to 3 days. Now, if you send it in late in the afternoon, that first day isn't going to be considered a production day. It will actually go into production the next day. So, and of course, when you get into the holidays, we're probably going to run just a touch longer, but 2 to 3 days is going to be the average on albums. And then, like I said, we overnight ship them back to you. We can do custom debossing for albums as well. First time you're going to go in here, you're going to create a project, and a project is essentially a session. You photograph the session, convert the files, upload them. You can do up to 300 images, up to 40 megabytes per image. Those are going to live on our servers for as long as you want them to. We're never going to delete them unless you want to have them pulled down. It's just a central holding place, like a project management system. You're able to go in and design albums, and you can do it in a matter of a very few minutes. So right now in the software, you can do square sizes. So 6x6, 8x8, 10x10, 12x12. I'm just going to pick the 10x10. Minimum number of spreads is going to be 5. Premium luster is my favorite paper, so I always like to play with that one. And we're just going to start designing. You literally just drag these and drop. If you don't like the way that it crops, you bring it around. If you don't like that style for a layout, you just switch it, move it around. You can choose if you want to have white or black. I'm going to do a black background for that one. I love full spreads, a full bleed. I think it's gorgeous when you open the album up to have that presentation. So automatically it picks a layout that I think is pretty cool, but let's just say that you're not crazy about that. You can go through and change this literally in a matter of seconds. Up at the top, you're going to see a little film strip of the images. If you decide you want to rearrange these, you can drag and drop them, slide them around. It's an excellent tool. You can review approve. You can prove to your clients if you want to let them have a choice. But all in all, it's a fantastic tool and it's free. So
Yeah, that's awesome. It looks really easy.
It is.
And, just plug and play and
Yep.
rock and roll. So
Awesome.
White House.
White House Custom Color.
Where are you guys based out of?
We're in Eagan, Minnesota. Nobody knows where that's at, so we'll just call it Minneapolis.